Holiday records make over $177 million a year in the US. Not bad for a genre that comes and goes from the Billboard charts after about a month of listening. This unique seasonal genre of music has become big business, especially in our era of music streaming, where you don't even have to buy a holiday hit in order to play it at your next Christmas party. To dive into the business of Christmas music, I'm joined today by two of the most powerful executives in music publishing, Moot and Carianne Marshall, the CEO and COO of Warner Chappell. Welcome back to On the Record, a music business podcast from Billboard and Sickbird Productions. As always, I'm your host, Kristin Robinson, and today on the show, we are diving into the business behind your favorite holiday hits. We all know the classics. Your Jingle Bell Rocks, your Rockin' Around the Christmas Trees, All I Want for Christmas Is You. These songs are not just culturally relevant, but they make a ton of money in royalties year after year after year, even though most of them came out decades ago. For many, it's seen as the ultimate evergreen hit, pun intended. But it's not easy to mint a new holiday hit in 2025. According to Luminate, much of the royalties from Christmas music go to a relatively small number of hit songs. The money and the listenership is more concentrated with the top Christmas hits than it typically is in other genres. For example, in 2023, the top 50 holiday recordings accounted for 35% of all holiday streaming. Compare that to the top 50 pop tracks, which only accounted for 12% of all pop streaming. So it's clear that basically Christmas music is go big or go home. You're either making an extremely popular Christmas album like Michael Bublé's, or you're making an album that dissolves into the vast landscape of other holiday music. But of course, the small chance at creating the next Christmas classic is still enough to get artists working on new material every single season. And before we bring in Guy and Kerri-Ann to break it all down for us, I just want to warn our regular viewers of On the Record that we are going to be taking a slight break during the holidays, but we'll be back in mid-January to give you even more great interviews and insights about all things music industry. And I also want to note that for the holidays, we're sending y'all off with an extra special bonus episode this week. So we have not one, but two interviews, one with Guy and Kerri-Ann and one with Charlie Puth, who also came by the studio this week to break down the sound of Christmas music. So be sure to check that out if you liked this episode. Okay, enough housekeeping. Let's get on with the show. Please welcome to On the Record, Guy Moot and Carianne Marshall of Warner Chappell. Guy, Kerri-Ann, thank you so much for coming to On the Record.
Happy to be here.
Our pleasure.
I wanted to start this off by talking about favorite Christmas music, favorite songs. Is there anything that immediately comes to mind? Guy, I'll start with you.
Donny Hathaway, This Christmas.
Ooh, okay. Good
Soul,
one.
funky number.
Yeah.
Livens up some of that more traditional stuff, you know, some of the hymns that we grew up with in the UK and stuff like that. It's a funk soul jam, basically.
Mm-hmm. Kerri-Ann, what about you?
Nat King Cole's Christmas album.
That is like a holiday tradition for my family.
Yeah. And a
year.
Little Elvis Christmas in there for my dad.
Oh, okay.
But
Wait,
the two of those.
So does Elvis have, all I know is Blue Christmas. Is there like full Christmas albums?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of like the traditional ones in there, but there's there's a few others. But really Nat King Cole and like a lot of those classics always on repeat.
Are any of those in your catalog at Warner Chappell? Like, do you represent any of them?
No, I'm just going purely on personal taste, though. We are really blessed with some of the best Christmas songs in the world, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very lucky to have Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah. Yeah. Here Comes Santa
George
Claus.
Michael, Last Christmas. Must be one of the ultimate Christmas songs. So we have a treasure trove of good stuff in that department.
What's like really, I think about this a lot, though. Some of the biggest Christmas songs, like we look after part of Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. Biggest Christmas songs actually are really non-denominational and weren't even written by Christian people.
Yeah.
So you think about a lot of these songs and Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
You know, they're not really, they don't even have Christmas in the title at all. They just like kind of invoke a feeling. And I think that's really interesting too about I don't know. I think about that. It sort of stretches beyond the holiday itself.
Yeah, it's more seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love like a contemporary Christmas song, like Last Christmas, Wham. Like, how can you really beat that? But
it's polarizing, that one.
I mean, that's 1984.
Okay.
That George wrote that after a Christmas breakup. And then I think there hasn't been a recent big Christmas song, and I think that's the challenge for songwriters to try and mash up. Most probably Mariah Carey.
Yeah, that's 90s, right?
That's
Ariana
94.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, okay.
That was like, but that's 10 years ago now.
I mean, Kelly Clarkson had an original Christmas song that did quite well, but that was probably aughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's actually like one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I feel like we're in this conversation talking about Christmas music, the business behind it, the industry behind it. And to me, Christmas music really does feel like a songwriter-based industry, because these songs are getting, if it's a hit, getting covered over and over and over by different recording artists, but the songwriters get paid every time.
Sure.
But it feels really hard to get one of those evergreen.
I think it's one of the most difficult things. It's like the holy grail to write a new contemporary Christmas hit. And I guess people want that nostalgia. You grow up with those songs, you play it to your children, and it symbolizes Christmas. But, I mean, people try. And in fact, we just actually had a writers' camp where we have 50 of our writers in different cities put together a Christmas album, which we actually just released. That isn't a shameless plug, but it was like a
little bit of a shameless plug, but
bit of a shameless plug. But I mean, it was also for synchronization. You know, again, when you're sort of people asking for the same titles, which is kind of great for our business. But I think to try and write new Christmas songs is challenging, but ultimately it's a huge prize if you manage that. So
it's interesting too, because I think about like some of the songs that are like evergreens that aren't really even Christmas songs, but tend to get licensed more around Christmas, like What a Wonderful World. It's like a really big one that gets licensed for a ton of holiday ads.
Yeah.
And that's not a Christmas song.
Yeah.
You know?
Hallelujah is the same way. Hallelujah started getting more and more associated with Christmas, even though like that doesn't quite make sense. That song really doesn't have much to do with Christmas at all.
No, but I think it's like kind of that feeling. And then the other thing I think is sort of funny, I know we were riffing before we started a little bit about the like British American thing, but I think that but it's so interesting when they're regional hits, right? Like there's a huge Christmas song written by a Canadian that is huge in the UK, but I'd literally never heard it until I got Driving Home for Christmas.
That's Chris Rea. Fantastic song, which we do publish, actually. Has anybody heard of Slade?
No.
Oh, I mean, that is the Christmas party anthem, okay?
Slade.
Merry Christmas.
Like, is it spelled like S-L-E-I?
They were like a British glam rock band from the 70s, and they wrote a Christmas song that is like anthemic. It was like every office party, most obviously in the UK, so...
That sounds like essentially the Christmas equivalent of like Angels by Robbie Williams. Like not a big hit here. I mean, it's not like it wasn't a hit at all, but like it is a British classic.
Yeah, it's a few drinks sing-along anthem, which I'm not going to embarrass myself in this podcast and try a rendition of it, but go and play it, okay?
Yeah.
You'll be singing along.
But it is so funny when you think about that, because I remember talking to some folks in the office and I was like, no, I don't know the song Driving Home for Christmas. And it was such a big hit, probably like this one you're talking about too.
Yeah.
And it like just didn't make it over. I don't know. I find that like interesting in general when songs that like don't even originate in the country or territory where they're the biggest or have an impact somewhere else. I just think it's fascinating.
Greg Lake. You know, I believe in Father Christmas. No?
Wait, Father Christmas?
Yes, Father Christmas.
Okay, see, I think that's what differentiates it. Like, Americans would never say Father Christmas.
No.
Really.
No.
Except for maybe like 50 years ago. I don't know.
I don't even...
Feels like a very old term.
That's the title of the song, but... So I'm doing it accurately, but what would you say, Santa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he can be Santa as well. I mean, you know...
Yeah, Santa
It's
Claus.
fairly fictional. Well, let's not even go down that road. But you know,
no, but I
whatever.
think we were talking about this too because like Here Comes Santa Claus, really big song here in the States and not quite as big outside the States.
That is interesting.
I could go on.
So
Wizard.
Is
remember Wizard?
No.
Okay.
Don't remember it at all. Well, so is like the Mariah Carey "All I Want for Christmas Is You" truly a global hit?
That's global.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see already, like in the UK charts, and I'm not just specifically talking, obviously I live here in America, but that's my homeland, but I can already see Wham and Mariah Carey starting to go up the charts. I think they're sort of around already in the top five. You've got Taylor at 1. We're hoping Ray would get to number 1.
Oh,
but
Where's
I'm
My
actually,
Husband?
Yes, but I'm worried. Well, we can't. It's a win-win because we look after the Wham catalog. So Last Christmas is starting to get to here, and Last Christmas I think 2 years in a row was number 1 in the UK.
In the
but
UK?
Mariah gets very close. Those are definitely the two most dominant songs.
I have a
So-
question for you, Guy. Because there's no Thanksgiving in the UK, do people start playing Christmas music earlier and like decorating and stuff earlier?
That is a great question.
I think the Christmas decorations in the shop go up after Halloween. I mean, that's a retail thing, but I think as soon as you hit December,
It's sort of the same.
like
Yeah.
we
Song-wise.
actually have a tradition, and I say to my children, like, it's unlucky to play Christmas songs when it's not Christmas. But
Is that just
December
because you-
1st,
So you
which
get a
we
month.
just crossed, it's open season for Christmas songs.
Yeah.
So
Okay, how do you feel about Christmas music after Christmas?
can't listen to
No.
it. No.
Like December 26th, you're done.
No, that's just not right. I mean,
Yeah.
no. Maybe you get up until New Year's. You will accept
Yeah.
it up until New Year, but
like
after
Christmas
that,
lights.
not acceptable.
It's like
No.
Yeah.
leaving up the Christmas lights a little longer.
Yeah, my parents do like Epiphany, which is like 13 days after Christmas.
Okay.
And then everything comes down.
Right.
So I don't
Okay.
know. Not everyone follows it. They're also
13.
actually religious, and some people are just
We
celebrating
have
Christmas
12 days
as like
of
a.
Christmas when you're meant to take the decorations.
I know.
It's the
Oh,
same
that's
thing,
fair.
I guess.
Same,
That's
but
fair.
same idea. 12, 13. I mean,
Anyway.
kind of a similar thing, I guess, right? You got to
Yeah.
stretch it a little bit. I do love the holiday season. I think it's pretty amazing.
Mhm.
I like the festive feeling and all of that. And I think it was so interesting. So, as Guy mentioned, we looked after Last Christmas, and our creative services team did like this really interesting marketing idea last year. And they had the members of Wham go do a spontaneous like sing along in London. And do you remember where it was exactly?
King's Cross.
King's Cross. And like it kind of like went viral and helped, like we did all this other kind of marketing around it, but it was really fun thing to sort of like get the group involved in the song that, you know, is obviously such a big
It's hard in a synchronization sense, I guess. You know, brands and advertising agencies start thinking about Christmas. You've got to start thinking about it. When do you think?
summer is when the sync
Yeah.
team
Yeah,
starts
May,
to get
June.
briefs
Yeah.
for
So they have
big
to listen to
holidays.
Christmas songs
Yeah.
at that time. But you work far in advance for that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and there's also a lot of kudos in those adverts and getting the right one. And yeah.
Mhm.
Well, for TV season, I remember like when when there was a TV season and it was like
More
fall,
predictable. Yeah.
more predictable, that they really had to, music supervisors had to temp songs in much earlier than even ads.
Mm.
So it would be like July, August. And
Yeah.
if you didn't get a song in or a request for a song in a TV show by then, it wasn't going to happen for that fall season.
That's interesting. So when do you think most artists start recording their Christmas albums? Is it also around that same time if they plan to release it around November, December?
I guess you have to think about it.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
I was reading about George Michael's Last Christmas. He wrote it in February and I think recorded it in June. I guess he had the breakup at Christmas and then wrote about it in February. Took a little time just to get over it and then, obviously poured it out into an amazing song.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I imagine so you have to start most probably before the summer, I would imagine. So.
Yeah. And how has like the process of people trying to create Christmas albums changed over time? Like now that we're in the streaming economy, I feel like the idea of creating a full cohesive Christmas album might not be quite as important anymore. It's more about
The
getting on
song.
playlists
Yeah.
and having like a big song. Are you seeing more people go for singles or are people still going for their full albums?
No, I think it's more songs. It's like the writing camp that we did too. It's none of those artists were actually putting together full Christmas albums. It was like a compilation. So they were all contributing songs for this compilation that we released. It wasn't about doing
As I
Christmas
say, I
albums.
think it's one of the ultimate challenges. I've seen a lot of people's careers kind of like come to I wouldn't say an end, but a decline. Because I think if you get the Christmas song wrong and you're going on TV, I'm going to perform my Christmas song. No one likes your Christmas song. It's a tough
Like,
thing
where
if
do you go
you're an
from there?
established artist. And the danger of also adding sleigh bells to anything is should come with a public warning.
You know what? That's really
It's
funny
like-
though.
I mean, it's really cliche, isn't it? So it's hard to capture that without being cliche.
Yeah.
Again, people want a bit of nostalgia, but I think it's possible. I think Sia released a pretty good Christmas album a couple
Yeah.
of years ago. I thought it was good, but again, I think people tend to veer to nostalgia. So maybe those newer songs need time to age, or again need the placement, or need to just percolate
You know what though?
somewhere.
Like you mentioned sleigh bells, and I'm thinking about like when I used to do synchronization a number of years ago, and we would have. I'm thinking primarily of my time early at songs, and we would have some like really great like uplifting, positive sort of songs, and we would have versions recorded with sleigh bells so we could pitch them as holiday songs because the lyrics were, they would lend themselves to, the spirit of giving or, being together or family or something. And so we would try to just like add a little bit of something.
So you could log your catalog and just put sleigh bells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all got to bring that to Warner Chappell.
Yeah.
That seems like
I think
such an
that's
easy fix.
You're a sleigh bell session person. You're also only working at certain times of the
Right.
year,
That's something
right?
I could do. I could definitely be the sleigh bell person if you guys need me.
yeah,
Just let me know.
Well, sometimes though that'll happen. That'll come as a request from either a music supervisor or somebody on the production side, an ad agency. Maybe they'll say like, "Can we tweak a song a little bit? Can we add something? Can we add strings? Can we add sleigh bells?"
Sleigh bells.
Yes, but it's not just for Christmas. It's definitely for all sorts of like, it's really about changing the feeling of the song.
Yeah, and have you ever worked on a sync that like totally changed the life of a holiday song that like really brought it to new heights when it was placed in a film, TV show, or ad?
Yes, but nothing that is like not in the days where things are now like going viral. Before that, it would definitely there's some songs that are, I don't even know if they're available for streaming now that it had, couple uses here and there and had, indie bands with a few albums sold and they would, extend the life of the album when we were talking about album cycles. But I think now one of the things that's really kind of exciting is there aren't cycles so much anymore. So if we have great songs like the ones that are folks recorded now or any of these, holiday classics or standards that we're talking about, like there's no time frame anymore. Part of that is awesome because there's nothing is like as stale, it doesn't matter as much. Part of it is really hard because you're competing against everything, not just the things that are released within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, is that because of streaming basically, like the infinite shelf?
Yeah.
Infinite possibilities of what you can listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was kind of like what makes that trust in curation like even more important. So you talk about the curation from playlists or for, where people go to find music, they like specific playlists on a streaming service. Or if you're talking about a relationship that our sync team may have with a music supervisor, a shortcut into somebody knowing their taste. It's like I think that we're thinking a lot more about I don't know who those trusted curators are, whether they're like actually personal or if it's a brand again. We were talking the other day about A24 and how A24 has this like incredible brand. It's trusted and how, people used to have trusted, and it happens to a certain extent now with record labels, certainly, but it was like that brand, that trusted brand. And I think people are kind of coming back to what is it that how do we do that? Like it was radio stations for a while. I know if I listen to this radio station, I am going to hear music I like. Like what's the version of that now? I think people are kind of seeking their communities that way. And so curation's becoming more important.
The stream is great for Christmas. Otherwise, you would have been up in your loft or your garage, going, where did I put that Bing Crosby album? You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, I used to do that all the time.
So you must have to buy it once every year.
Oh, I do
but
like Bing
now
Crosby
you've got a
Christmas.
whole just array of access to some of the best Christmas songs and some of the lesser known ones as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, it does really feel like playlisting and almost passive listening is very important for Christmas music. I feel like oftentimes when I'll turn to Christmas music is if I have people over and it's around the holidays, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to Spotify and click, Christmas pop or Christmas jazz and just walk away.
It's Christmas everything. I was listening to Christmas reggae last night.
Christmas
my God,
reggae.
that's
Okay. Any hits?
Treasure trove.
Okay.
There's actually a version of Donny Hathaway's song. There's Christmas and
Wow.
reggae. Yeah. So
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
It's so funny. My son, who's 12, said to me the other day, which is like so random. He goes, turn on 103.5. I'm like, Coast 103. But you don't even know what the radio is. Like he doesn't listen to the radio. And he's like, they're playing Christmas songs. And I said, but we can listen to them on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever. And he's like, no, I want to hear the radio. I said, how do you even know about this? And he goes, the bus driver on the way to school was playing Christmas songs on Coast 103.5.
Wow.
And I'm
Bus
like,
driver is an
that is
influencer.
wild. Yeah. Yes. Isn't that funny, though? It's
Yeah.
just like what
Well,
gets
we can
sticky.
give them some of our own playlists to play next time, and then just
Yeah.
as an influencer.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. We got to
Yeah.
infiltrate that bus. We got to program the bus.
I imagine that radio is still a huge driver for Christmas music, and especially for publishing.
Yeah.
And like the value that it brings to the songwriters who wrote those songs. But also, I mean, I imagine also a lot of Christmas music is so traditional that it's like in the public domain at this point too. Like if you go back to your hymns, like your very, very classic stuff, I guess you don't really need to pay anyone on publishing.
No, but you could copyright a new version.
Yeah, like an arrangement.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we'll see some of that, like a twist on, an old Come All You Faithful or something.
It's a funny time because obviously it's harder for new artists if you're trying to break a record at that time of year, because all of a sudden December comes, and I think most people try and avoid that spot. But yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like this is the zone where if you're trying to get a song to number one, you're now competing with like
100%.
Absolutely.
Jingle Bell Rock. And I was just looking at our charts from the week of December 6th, and you start to see it all climb up. The Taylor Swift song is still number one on the Billboard Hot 100, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if by the time this episode comes out that Christmas music's at the top. But I'm curious, so for songwriters, I know that y'all did this camp, but are camps common in this situation where you're trying to create new Christmas hits or create new Christmas recordings?
Yeah, I have to give credit to our A&R and creative teams. I think part of it was just, like I say, let's have a go at creating brand new Christmas hits. But then also some of it is like, how do we create songs that are also very syncable? Because there's always going to be a huge demand for campaigns and adverts using Christmas music. And yeah, sure, give them some more options, we say. So it sounds really strong. Some of it is obviously much more contemporary pop, different styles. But yeah, I think they had a lot of fun doing it. Like I say, it's kind of like, I think if you seriously go looking for that Christmas hit, you may fail. I think it's a lot of effort to put into something that's so kind of like difficult to actually hit the nail on the head and compete with the nostalgia of catalog. But it's a lot of fun in a writing time because say, hey, let's go and write some some kind of Christmas songs. And I think that comes across in the music. And great if we get a couple of sync payments, sync fees that the camp's been paid for as well. But everybody had a lot of fun, I'm sure.
But I think also, like, when we think about camps, it's not one-dimensional, right? So this one in particular is not a ton of pressure. Nobody's trying to like land a huge cut on some big pop star's record. They're having fun. They're writing, and also they're the artists in the session. They're building community, having fun, and really like, I think, as we were saying before, if there's not a song that has is time stamped in a way, it can be pitched or used in all sorts of areas for a long time.
Well, I said, it's tough to write a new Christmas hit, but I think they're there, and they're there on streaming services forever.
Yeah.
So somebody would pick it up. Maybe it would go viral. Something happens. So I was saying it's difficult in the immediate, but maybe there's always long-term value in Christmas songs.
Totally.
That playlist playing in the background, or that person who suddenly finds it and does a version of it or does a TikTok to it or something. So I think it's great. I'm not deterring people from going out and trying to write Christmas hits.
Yeah.
It might not be immediate, though. So.
Yeah. I mean, and I was kind of thinking about Christmas music, and it does feel like a very valuable thing to have if you can actually hit the nail on the head and get a true hit that comes back year after year. But also, when it comes back year after year, there's also, most of the time during the other parts of the year where no one's listening to it at all.
Yeah, totally.
It's a very seasonal spike, but I'd say it's very consistent. If you're looking at the economics of songs, or if you're looking to buy a Christmas song, they're very, very dependable and steady earnings, which is what a lot of people like.
Interesting.
It is funny though, like to see which songs go in and out of favor. I'm just like thinking about some ridiculous shit. Like I think when you put on some of these like classic Christmas songs, right? You get like Nat King Cole, and you get like Dean Martin, and you get, some Brenda Lee, and you get some of these, like it's a mixture of like some of all these like classics. But somehow, somewhere, a few of these random songs have made themselves like gotten their, I guess, made their way onto these playlists and are now all over the place, like Dominic the Christmas Donkey.
Oh
my gosh, just wait, you're gonna start. There's that one, and then there's like I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Was that not popular before?
It was like, yes, but
Okay.
all of a sudden, but they weren't on like the Bing Crosby Christmas album.
Yeah.
Like no one's
What was
buying
the
that
donkey one
album.
again?
Dominic
the Donkey. It's not a good one.
No, it's
I'm
kind
sorry
of
to
awesome.
whoever
I'm
wrote
not
that one,
Googling
but
that either,
not my favorite
okay?
one.
I'm definitely not Googling
No,
that.
the Italian Christmas donkey. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Seriously. So, but my point being, like as Guy was saying at the, in the beginning, when you're buying albums, when we were all buying cassettes or vinyl or CDs or whatever, it was like really the classics. You'd buy Dean Martin or you'd buy Donny Hathaway or you'd buy that. Like, I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas is not going to be on the Dean Martin album.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna
like-
swap you Slade and Wizard,
Okay.
Dominic the Donkey, and I Want a Hippopotamus. Okay?
Well, I found out, I like...
I think mine's even a little more highbrow than yours.
Wait.
But
Wait, so check this out. I like went down the rabbit hole last year about this like hippopotamus song. So I'm like, what is
what's up with the
this? And that's what's kind of cool. Like these songs are kind of getting pulled back out of the ether to be added to playlists. Maybe it was 10 years ago. Maybe it was who knows when it was, but it was certainly not on the original classics, I don't think. And that song, I'll probably get it kind of wrong, but it's an interesting idea. That song was written as like a promotion for like the Cleveland Zoo or
Wait,
something.
really?
That hippopotamus song. Yes.
Oh.
We'll have to look it up. It was
is
like
this a parody of Little Donkey? You don't know?
no, this isn't the donkey. This is the
Oh,
hippopotamus.
it's a different
Yeah,
song.
I
Sorry,
want a
different
hippopotamus
animal.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
the hippopotamus.
Yeah.
And it
one.
was like
Okay.
a younger, because it was like, I read an article about this, the girl that sang it, it was like a contest or something.
Wow.
But it was like an advertisement for a local zoo somewhere in the Midwest. And she recorded the song when she was a child. I think it was probably the only thing she ever recorded.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense now. Maybe these are some of these interesting stories where this was recorded for an Ohio zoo. That's probably why it didn't reach the UK.
Yeah,
like
right?
it is
You
such
think?
an American song. I'm sure
Totally.
there's like a few other cases like that where maybe it was in a UK commercial that everyone saw as a kid and it just got stuck in your mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. These kind of things
Or like
sneak-
a movie, right? Like if there was something, I still remember watching this Christmas movie with Mickey Rooney. It was like a made-for-TV movie called like It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. It's not streaming like anywhere because I looked for it
it's
recently.
lost.
It's lost. I think you can like buy it on VHS somewhere. But like the Christmas songs that were in that and thinking about It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, I don't hear that song very often.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
if something was recurrent, was like on TV a bunch, or is, I guess that would be the equivalent-ish of like a radio or something. I don't know, the songs they're in the ether a bit more. So to your point, if something was airing in the UK or wherever.
Or even in Latin America.
Yeah.
Feliz Navidad. I mean, I didn't hear, but now you hear it everywhere.
Yeah, I heard it
Yeah.
a lot growing up, but I grew up in California.
Yeah.
So
I think the guy who originally sang that was Mexican American, maybe. Like, so
so.
I think it is like kind of an American song, but I might be wrong about that. I will
I
fact
know
check
we'll have to
myself
like
if I'm wrong.
fact check the hippopotamus song, but it's something like that. And but
That's
these
interesting.
it is interesting, like the lore of it and like what is sticky and what sort of goes away.
Yeah.
And the songs that maybe don't hold up as well now.
Yeah, I
And
think
you're
out
like-
the UK it was. Both Wizard and Slade were kind of 70s glam rock bands. But it
So
felt
you-
like if you were successful back in that era, it was acceptable to write a Christmas song and then have your Christmas hit. It was more of a rite of passage or part of your recording, kind of like
Yeah.
discography almost. But it
Yeah.
just kind of started to fade away, I feel. So,
Yeah. I remember, so this was a very old contract that I saw, but I once saw a record deal where, it was standard that you had to release a Christmas album at some point during the contract term. I don't know exactly what time period that contract was from. We studied it in college.
That's awesome.
But I loved seeing that, and I thought it was so interesting. I was like, oh, that's why everyone does Christmas albums.
Yeah.
Some of them are probably being forced to do it to fulfill their recording contract. I can't imagine that that's part of standard recording contracts
I
now.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that was very much in a physical era.
physical
And I
world.
felt like if you had the greatest hits, your career might be ebbing a little. And then if you did the Christmas album, you could really be kind of like,
Yeah.
but maybe that was a contractual fulfillment. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think also way, way back in the day, like I'm talking like 50s and 60s, it was so much more common to ask a new artist to do a bunch of covers in order to get themselves off the ground. One of my favorite artists of all time is Simon and Garfunkel. And I remember like going back in their discography and realizing that their first album was almost entirely covers.
Yeah.
And then they released some Christmas music, mostly covers. I think that also there's probably more of a cover culture among recording artists back at that time or back in the 20th century and the days of physical than there is now. But nowadays, like whenever your songwriters get requests to or start working in the Christmas music ecosystem, are they pitching songs? Are they working with artists in the studio to write original songs with the artist? Kind of how does that typically come together?
I think a bit of both. I mean,
Okay.
there's always going to be those artists where I think they don't write. They're more the singing showman, showwoman type of person. They're on the road. That's what they do. The crooners of today as such. And then there's the others who will get in the room and collaborate. So I don't think, I think, there's no real trend in that. But again, writing new songs, I mean, it'd be quite tough these days, I think, to write new songs and just go out and pitch them to traditional singers. I don't know what you think, but again, it may be over time.
Yeah. I mean, the pitch record game has obviously really fallen off in recent years in general, but I was wondering if maybe Christmas, worked differently, but it sounds like not really.
It depends. I mean, it's still there. I mean, if you go to Asia, it's still all about pitching. Nashville is still predominantly about pitching, but I think in contemporary pop music, most artists want to be part of that process of writing their own lyrics, or at least being in the room and making sure that the essence of what they are as an artist is there and in the room. So
Well, and back to what you were saying before, like when it was really all about the song. I mean, Frank Sinatra didn't write any of his own songs. Like a lot of these folks didn't. It was definitely the culture of song was a hit. A lot of record labels would just have their up and coming artists just do versions of that song. Like it was about the song. It wasn't really about the artist as much. And I think about this too. It's like, when my son actually asked me this question when he was much younger. He said, how come when you talk about classical music, you talk about, he said, the songwriter, he didn't say the composer, but the songwriter when it's classical, and when it's like a new song, we talk about the artist. And I thought it was really interesting. It's like, that was a Mozart song. Now here is a song by X artist. And it was just sort of interesting, like the way, like what holds up, right? Is it the composer? Is it the song itself? Is it the artist? I think now it could be any of them.
Yeah, I think it's supply and demand. I think in the Christmas stage, we don't, I think, get a lot of requests for people saying, send me your best Christmas songs in the sense to cover them, because I don't think those artists see it as being so in vogue to go and try and have a big Christmas hit.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles put out a Christmas album, was it a couple of years ago? And they did a part 2.
I mean, Jimmy Fallon did a Christmas album, didn't he? I mean,
Yeah, so there's some of that. Like, I think, did the Eagles do a second one? They may have. But I think there's some of that too, where, as Guy mentioned before, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like there is the, oh shit, I better do a Christmas album to keep my career alive as a last-ditch effort thing. There's and then there's the, like, this is fun. Let's just have some fun and, like, do some songs that we love and not take it too seriously. And so I think that all of that exists. And I think what's really nice in general is, like, things aren't so one-dimensional now anyway. There are a lot of ways to do lots of things. There isn't one path to success for anything, which can make it a little bit trickier, but also can be more interesting too.
And so, like, if you are one of the artists that does hit the jackpot and you do get an amazing Christmas hit, how does that impact the value of your catalog overall? There's obviously so many artists and songwriters that are selling these days. So do you see like a noticeable increase from a Christmas hit specifically?
I think it's significant. As I said, it's very steady. Okay, it might kind of go like this seasonally, but it's dependable every year, as predictable as Christmas coming. it's going to be those songs that are going to be played. So I think Christmas songs are absolute gems in terms of if you were to look at the value of your catalog. Yes.
And was it Love Actually, right? Was it no? What no? Was it no? Not Love Actually. What was the movie where I'm confusing the movies?
Bridget Jones? No.
No, the one where he's like living off the Christmas song money.
Living off. Wait. Oh. Is that Love? Does anyone in the room know this?
Love Actually? I can't remember what it is. Anyway, there's one of those
Actually,
movies.
wait. I think it was like there is a character in Love Actually who's like an aging rock star. Yeah, everyone's nodding now.
Yeah, yeah.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
There was an aging rock star, and he records this Christmas
song,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And like that was the
or
song.
he re-records it.
Yeah, something happens with
People
that.
who are listening are going to be like, oh my God, they don't know Love
Or there's
Actually.
another movie with anyway, there's like
Yeah.
a couple, we might be conflating two different movies, but the idea of like mailbox money yearly, even though it's not in your mailbox anymore, for a Christmas song is real. So certainly it can increase the value of a writer's catalog who has hits in general, but certainly there are people that are known for writing big Christmas songs, and like, yes, every year that is steady.
Mm-hmm.
That is steady. And, you know, there's an opportunity for something to, you know, pop up too, like the hippopotamus song.
Yeah.
Come back into the ether.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if you guys have ever, you know, watched a song from your catalog in the last few years just take on a new life. We've kind of touched on this already. Sometimes songs are growers, especially Christmas songs that maybe when they first come out, they're not initial hits, but then they become one. Are there any great examples from your catalog that have been fun to watch over the last few years?
A slow burn. I mean, I've been thinking about a lot. It's not a Christmas song though, but I think it's sort of interesting. Is there was a use of the George Michael song "Father Figure" in an A24 film called "Baby Girl."
Mm-hmm.
And it started to get some traction online. People were like using that, you know, posting that snippet. And so obviously that was a sync that the sync team negotiated. And then the creative services team picked that up. And alongside, I can't remember who the label was, but they worked, I think, with the label partners and really tried to get a lot of traction around that use to help amplify it. Mm-hmm. And the song ended up charting in the US, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, now there's a Taylor Swift song called Father Figure.
Yes,
is it there?
indeed.
Like, is that an interpolation or?
Interpolation, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Father Figure. So.
I mean, that's the biggest boost you could probably ever
it's
ask
wild.
for with the song. I mean, I don't think previous to Baby Girl, I knew Father Figure.
Did you know it from Baby Girl? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
See, interesting.
Nicole Kidman, I got to show up when she's
Right?
in the theater. I got to show up.
Well, I think that's how we look at value. It's like, how do we connect to new fans? And that one placement connected you to that song.
Yeah.
Hopefully you went and listened to the original
Yes.
right away.
Yes, I did.
So we're always looking for value. It's not always sometimes about the financial value of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like how many people will discover it, how many eyes and ears we're going to kind of like get across that song, and how people then connect to the artist. So
I think that's right. It's like, and we've talked to our teams a lot, creative services, synchronization in particular, about looking through that lens of value. And like, what does that mean? And sometimes it may mean dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it may mean reach. Sometimes it can be just a cool, special, you know, demographic somebody wants to connect to. Like, and that value is the lens that we always want our teams to look through when they're negotiating or thinking about where to focus their time.
Mm-hmm. And obviously TikTok is a very important way to market music these days. Are there any instances of Christmas songs getting new life from TikTok that you'll have seen, or just from, I guess, maybe online virality more generally speaking?
We'll probably be better placed to answer that question after this holiday season.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, I think so. But what's been really cool is that a lot of these services, we'll use TikTok as an example, now have teams that are focused on songwriters.
Yeah.
And we actually helped pilot a number of those programs because we have a team that can do that. You know, there's a natural place to put that. So our creative services team has worked with TikTok and a number of these other digital partners to sort of champion like some of their songwriter initiatives. It's been really nice because we're really comfortable experimenting in that way. And so we have a little bit of a shortcut into talking to those folks about new ways to partner. I mean, that's not going viral. Obviously, going viral is going viral, you can't do a whole lot except connect the dots there. I think there's a lot of that happens naturally. But what we can do is try to connect the dots through our, our partner relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to kind of end things off with the special edition of how we kind of end off every show. We do a segment called Make Me a Playlist, where I ask you guys, based on 3 prompts, to give us some songs. You are welcome to use Christmas songs as your answers for these, but also you don't have to. So, okay.
Oh my God, I used to make playlists for everybody. I found a notebook of all the playlists I made for people in high school. All the lists.
Wait, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I serenaded my wife with, I used to make mixtapes.
Yeah, I was like, it's mixtapes.
We got
It
married,
wasn't.
you know? I'm not saying it was
worked.
the only reason. I mean, I'm not saying there are other hopefully redeeming factors, but yeah.
I didn't have access to a whole bunch of music then, but I do have my mixtape lists. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I did make one high school boyfriend a CD, and it's still in my old car. My parents now have that old car.
Oh, he didn't take it?
Well,
you didn't give it to him?
We broke up, and I got the CD back. I don't know.
No, I think
Anyways,
it's really
or did I
personal.
make another copy for myself? I don't know. I don't want to say that he
Like
just
that.
threw my CD at me
I made
and
a
said
lot of
goodbye.
compilations, and I got them copied in the CD age, and I'm like, no, I don't want that person having it, because if they're not emotionally deep enough.
Yeah, you had to like connect.
I was like,
Yeah, but
no,
it's like-
don't give my music away to them.
Totally. I had like
it's
very
stupid now in a
specific
streaming
playlists
era,
I'd make
but-
for specific people. How far could I push it for this person? How tame did I have to be for this person?
I made these very rare dub CDs
Mine weren't rare.
of great stuff. My wife gave one to one of her friends. I'm like, they're just not going to get it. I want it back.
Oh,
It's for you.
mine were not that cool. I didn't have access to a whole lot of music. Sorry.
Well, you're the A&R in the room, so I'm sure your mixtapes were very cool and very well curated. So anyways, let's start with you, actually. For Make Me a Playlist, our first question is, what's a song that you can no longer gatekeep? So a lesser known song, something a little bit more obscure.
More obscure.
Yeah.
I would say I got really into a Brazilian artist called Arthur Verocai.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time buying his album at high vinyl cost.
Oh, wow.
But everything's on YouTube nowadays. So I used to collect a lot of kind of rare Brazilian funk, disco, rare groove, and used to pay a lot of money for it. And now everything is on YouTube like that. So
Hey, but you could probably still sell those for a lot of money if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm not selling. But so Arthur, an album by Arthur Verocai, it's just one of my favorite albums.
Okay,
Kind of
that's
like
great.
Brazilian rare funk. It's kind of like slightly badly recorded, which makes it even more special.
Yeah, a little lo-fi.
Yeah.
I don't want to follow that.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Kerri-Ann, you're going to have to follow that.
I have, it like just really depends on where, I don't know, where my head's at. I think music to me is so like, it's about the mood and the feeling. I definitely have some albums I like, but I like, there's 2 songs I've been listening to on repeat lately. Neither one of them are very big, I guess. One is by a writer. I was actually like listening to it on the way here that we have signed, Nectar Wood. Do you know the song
she's
Alma
great.
Said?
Mm-hmm.
It's so like I literally like listen to it on repeat. It's just like
She's a new artist in the UK.
Okay.
It feels so good. Like so
Part almost of that UK Brit soul kind of revival, like
Yeah.
Olivia Dean, K1. That
I think that right now I've been really wanting to listen to a lot of stuff that just makes me feel good. Yeah. And the other song I've been like listening to on repeat is by this group Far From Saints. That's like a woman who was in a band called The Wind and the Wave, and then a guy from Stereophonics.
Oh, cool.
And there's this song called, I'm going to mess up the title, Let the Light Shine Down, I think is the name of the song. But again, it's just like really beautiful and positive. And I think that like, I don't know, I need that a little bit right now. Just like really lovely to listen to those songs.
Those are good picks. Okay. Guy, what's a favorite throwback of yours? And I'm defining throwback as anything over 10 years old. But yeah, that leaves a lot of songs.
Oh, I can do that while he's thinking.
Okay. Kerri-Ann?
I've been like going back to like, it's definitely a specific era and time, and listening to the 07 album, Simple Things,
So
Massive
good.
Attack, Mezzanine, and DJ Shadow Introducing. Like that right now is, I don't know why. It's like that
Yes,
warm
music just takes you there. I don't know.
Right?
I'm listening to a lot of Carly Simon and Joni Mitchell for some reason at the moment, because I just think the phrasing is just, everybody's always full tilt vocally these days, and just the arrangements are so unpredictable. And then I don't usually go back over the people who I sign. I'm funny like this. It's always about what's next, what next. But I've gone back to a lot of Jamiroquai, who's actually having a bit of a
We were just talking
resurgence
about
in the
that.
UK. And
So good.
just really appreciating some of the, not even the big hits, some more of the down-tempo songs like Morning Glory and Half a Man and stuff like that. I always think a lot of ballads get overlooked
Yeah.
back in the day on albums, because everybody was like, oh, we got to have 3 up-tempo singles. Forget it. You know, so, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so did you sign Jamiroquai?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, that's so cool. Okay. I actually don't know
good.
like who some of your early signings were. What were some of the few first signings that you love?
I think Jamiroquai was one of my bigger signings.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Harris, obviously then it was at Amy Winehouse and Mark Ronson and Salaam Remi at the time, Gangstar.
It's a good lineup.
It's got some good taste.
I know. And it's like, yeah, it's all people with taste too. I
Yeah.
mean, you often hear people who are just like, I mean, it sells, you know?
Yeah,
Those
totally.
are all
That's
really
a different
great
thing.
artists.
Hopefully it came. I mean, I was always coming from the left, but it hopefully came into the mainstream, and it did most of the time. So I don't know if it's like that now, because I don't think there's so many sort of underground scenes or things like that. So maybe it's different.
Yeah. And okay, final one is, what's a guilty pleasure for you guys?
Oh, I okay. I was thinking about this actually as you were talking about how songs sometimes have another life in a, TV show or, ad or something. Because my son and I like went down this like crazy path, I don't know, a while ago, because he wanted to hear like the weirdest songs.
Okay.
And so we've been listening a lot to the song called Hocus Pocus by a band called Focus. It is like a rock song.
Okay.
And I didn't,
rock.
yeah. And I did not understand why it was streaming so much. And I literally found out today it was in like this huge British Nike ad.
Oh.
Like, and I like in the US, nobody, but there's yodeling and a flute and a lot of like metal guitar.
Wow.
It's
and you knew
awesome.
about this song already?
Yeah.
Was it big when it came out?
Not in the States.
Well, it was pretty big in the UK, yeah.
Not
I mean,
in the
most probably
States.
my guilty. Yeah, it could be those Christmas songs like Slade,
It's in with Wizard.
Wizard. Not
Yeah.
really a big kind of glam rock guy growing up. Not really a big rock guy in general, but
I'll
that's what
take the
Christmas
rock.
is about. You must probably have a couple of eggnogs, and you're like singing along at the top of your voice, wearing a paper hat at the office party. You know what I mean? It's like that's
I like the
a
rock
guilty
too.
pleasure. But we all have to sing along with great songs like that.
Yeah.
And guitarmonies are incredible.
Mm,
I love guitarmonies. They make me happy.
I love that. Okay. What's your guilty pleasure?
Well, partly that, singing along to those sort of songs. I think occasionally, and I'm not a depressed person, I listen to very sad songs, a lot of Eric Carmen, Barry Mann. I've been really like studying how the people wrote those really like lonely songs, all by myself and stuff. Just a moment, I'm not depressed, I get out of it. I'm not having counseling yet. But yeah, sometimes some of those, because people just don't write sad songs. They don't write sad songs in the same way.
Oh,
They don't
they
don't make songs about being poor anymore, you know what I mean, or reality. So sometimes I have to just indulge.
We could go down the rabbit hole in sad songs.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
your saddest song?
My saddest. Okay. Well, one of my favorite artists of all time is James Blake, and like his early stuff, he was very lonely and very sad. So first album, second album, actually even third album, he's still very sad.
He's a pretty sad guy. Do you like his Dave songs?
Yeah, I like them. I would say his early stuff is really what hits for me. I've interviewed him quite a few times over the years just because I'm such a fan, and he has been like very honest about how his process has changed because he's gotten happier. Like he's like, I now write with friends, and I now have a social life and a romantic life that I'm happy about, and the songs have changed.
It's not as therapeutic.
Yeah.
Or it's therapeutic in a different way, maybe.
Totally. So I would say James Blake gets quite sad. I'm a big Radiohead fan. That can get sad. Bon Iver. I prefer sad songs. I want a song to make me feel something.
Yeah.
Like I want
in
it
the
to like
motive.
manufacture a feeling in me if I'm like just walking around going about my day. If I can like get into that place with them, then it's a good song, you know.
And then you can get further and further into it. And then you
Yeah.
listen to the lyrics more deep. You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
my
It's
gosh, yeah. I mean,
You're going to see the radio. Oh, Radiohead were playing. You didn't get there, right?
So they were playing, and then Tom York has a throat infection or something, and he had to cancel the rest of the dates. I was thinking about flying to Europe to go see them, and so I guess
Hopefully they'll come to the US.
I know I've heard rumors, and I'm hopeful that they come to the U.S., but we'll see. Anyways, Guy, Kerri-Ann, thank you so much for coming to On the Record.
Our
talking
pleasure.
Christmas
Thank
music.
you.
This is fun.
thank you. Super fun.
Thank you so much to Guy and Kerri-Ann for coming on the Record. They're always so much fun to talk to. Now, let's dive into our charts roundup and learn more about this week's biggest movers and shakers. Here is the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for the week of December 20th. Coming in at number 10, it's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Andy Williams. Ninth this week is Underneath the Tree by Kelly Clarkson. 8 is the Christmas song Merry Christmas to You by Nat King Cole. The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift comes in at 7. Golden by Huntrix comes in at 6th. 5th this week is Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande. Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms comes in at number 4. Last Christmas by Wham falls to number 3. Number 2 this week is Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee. And finally, number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for the week of December 20th, 2025, it's All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey for its 20th week at number 1. Thanks for listening to this week's special holiday episode of On the Record. The show will be off for the next couple weeks, but don't worry, season 1 still continues in January, starting January 22nd. And the lineup for the rest of the season is stacked, so come back and join us again. But until then, happy holidays. Again, I'm your host, Kristin Robinson, and tune in January for another peek behind the curtain of the music business. I'll see you then.